for dueling protests over gender-inclusive bathrooms. The Y will be closed again tomorrow.
Teenage girl called Rebecca speaking to the Santee City Council in California about her experience at a YMCA locker room. She was taking a shower when a naked man walked in. Watch.
As I was showering after my workout, I saw a naked male in the women's locker room.
Spoke with the woman who was surprised to find herself in the middle of this. NBC 7 and Telemundo 20 met with Christine Wood, the transgender woman in the center of controversy surrounding the Cameron family YMCA. Wood says she didn't even know about the controversy until comments were shared during a Santee City Council meeting. At that meeting, a teenage girl said she was startled to see Wood changing in the locker room.
That very next day, Friday the 13th, I went to my water aerobics class. Because like I said, I don't run from bullies, and I sure don't run from lies. And the staff of the Y came out and they all hugged me and said, Kristen, we support you 100%.
Wood says she's a longtime YMCA member and appreciates their support. On Wednesday night, protesters were outside the Santee Y, but they were met with many supporting Wood and the LGBTQ+ community.
I immediately went back into the shower, terrified, and hid behind their flimsy excuse for a curtain until he was gone.
Hey there everybody, I'm Will, and this is my channel. On Saturday, January 21st, there was a protest that was held at the Santee YMCA in my hometown of San Diego, California. An incident involving a transgender woman using the women's locker room at the Y began to get attention when the victim, a 17-year-old girl named Rebecca, spoke in front of the Santee City Council. Before long, the story was elevated in front of a national audience when Tucker Carlson had Rebecca on his show to push an anti-trans news segment. Why do I think the woman's intentions were specifically anti-trans? Well, the most glaring reason is because she was claiming on various news sites that she had seen the elderly woman's genitalia, which is an impossibility, because the woman in question had gender-affirming care many, many years before the incident where Rebecca supposedly saw the man's backside and returned to the private shower. You will see this claim that a man with dick and balls was in the women's locker rooms by many of the people at this protest. This is without a doubt false, but I think it speaks to the power and propaganda of social media and Fox News, which must be where I assume the majority of these people get their news and information. Oddly enough, most of the people believed trans people existed, and thought that if a trans person went through and completely medically transitioned, they would have no issue with this trans person using the women's locker room. I guess they had all missed the part where CBS interviewed Christine Wood, where she confirmed that she had, in fact, completely medically transitioned. What initially drew my interest was the conservative group organizing the rally. They are known as LEXIT. Think Blexit, but with Latinos instead. LEXIT stands for Latinos Exiting the Democratic Party, although truthfully, I doubt they were ever there to begin with. Their organization has its roots in the born-again Christian movement, which means you can already make a wide variety of accurate assumptions about the beliefs of the people in this group. Anti-gay, anti-trans, pro-God, and the Bible before all else. I did my best to try and interview a wide variety of people at the rally. I tried to get as many counter-protesters as I could on camera, people who were pro-LGBTQ+, but there were literally 5 people there, and the 2 that I did get on video was when I had terrible signal and the footage was completely scuffed. It goes without saying, massive trigger warning to any LGBTQ+ people watching this video. I was there as a journalist to see what it was that these people think, not provide my own opinion or to push back against them. I hope my opener here has sufficed for that. Without further ado, Will on the Street, LEXIT versus the Santee YMCA. I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. It's my first time doing something like this. Like, am I already getting flipped off by somebody? It's always great. Today, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of a vibe. Got a couple different groups out here. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be slightly bigger. What are we doing today?
Defending our children against crazy people.
So what's exactly spawn place? I only know like vaguely like what's going on here. What's like the event that made the protest happen?
The event is when the 17-year-old gal, and I forget her name, was in the locker room here, and a trans man with a unit. She saw him, and she was terrified. And then she started crying because when she started talking about her 5-year-old sister, she brings there, and what kind of trauma that would create for her 5-year-old sister. That was the only time she cried, was when she was talking about her.
I'm gonna tell my foe, I'm gonna get to heaven and I'm gonna sing it. American defending and I'm in it to win it. Yeah.
Among us, and the weakest among us are being basically attacked by crazy people, a crazy agenda. And we have nothing against gays, lesbians, you know, as long as you don't push it on other people.
But not trans people.
Trans people, I feel, it's really sad, but it's also their choice. It's their choice to do, just as long as they don't proselytize their situation. You know, I've known one trans person, and that person very much regretted getting switched from male to female because there's nothing but physical and mental problems.
Do you think there's possibly like a third option, maybe, so we could still appeal to those, you know, appeal to trans people as well, but maybe you get your way too, you know?
Get your way?
Yeah, well, just, you know, that way, because I feel like the biggest issue, right, is, you know, there's a bit of ambiguity in the situation, you know what I mean? You obviously, you would feel unsafe with a man in the ladies' restroom or something like that, right? I mean, that's why we have the separation of the bathrooms.
I think I would just be angry. I would just be angry. What are you doing in here? You know.
It stems from like a feeling of safety, though, I think, at the core of it.
Well, yeah, fear is at the base of all negative emotions. So, yeah, it does come from fear, but I would be angry.
I was wondering, how would you feel if we just had a multitude of like different rooms? You know, like what if we had like a men's one and a female one and maybe a trans one? There could be like individual bathrooms or individual.
Yeah, they actually talked about that.
Yeah,
I think here at the Y was an additional third bathroom.
Like, would you guys be okay with like that? It's like a.
Or there's yesterday I would forget where I was at, but there was a women's bathroom and then an all-gender bathroom. Why are you ANTIFA? Why do you associate yourself with ANTIFA?
Why did you call us weirdos?
I didn't. I'm not ANTIFA. I'm a third party. I'm trying to interview both sides. That's fine.
Okay.
I messaged you guys because I wanted to chit chat. Could we chat?
So you lied that you were ANTIFA?
I'm not ANTIFA.
This guy is not ANTIFA. I'm
not
just
ANTIFA.
doing a good feeling here. But I would
Chat.
100%.
Am I ANTIFA? You can check my stuff.
You're the nicest one I ever met. If you are, my friend.
You're the cutest.
You hear me? Whoa. All right, now.
Can I talk to you on my live stream?
Sure.
Hey, I'm talking to this guy. How are you doing today? Good. What are we doing this time?
We are a collective group here in our community that don't agree with the YMCA and their policies based on what California has regulated. I think opinions vary, but I believe, as you might have already understood, that this is not a anti-trans, anti-LGBT thing. Not what it is. It's about biological men sharing restrooms with women. It's pretty clear what it's about.
Do you feel that there could be a third option? Like maybe what they could do is they could turn all of the like the locker rooms
absolutely.
or the bathrooms
I believe that there are options.
Yeah. Would you?
But from the statements that the YMCA has given the media, they're going to follow California protocol. And there is no sign of any sitting down and discussing options. So that's why we're here. Until there is, we're going to keep coming back. And I believe that the community here is going to grow and grow and grow and say, yeah, enough is enough. It's just not right.
Would you say that you guys feel like unheard as a group?
I don't think anybody would be here if we were heard. We're here speaking, saying we're not going to comply with what they're okay with. It's a matter of right and wrong. I mean, did you hear any of the speeches here Wednesday night?
I wasn't here Wednesday, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would challenge your audience to maybe look at some of the live feeds and look at some of the speeches and then come to a conclusion for themselves.
Sure. Hey, that's what we're all
because
about.
I'm just one person.
Yeah.
I've got my thoughts and my ideals and my principles, and I'm sure that they don't align with everybody here, but for the most part, I think they do.
Well, that's what we're here to find out today. Hey, so I'm curious, would you consider yourself anti-trans, or you're just anti-trans people in bathrooms of the opposite sex?
I'm all about you being you.
Okay.
I'm respectful of the LGBT community, even though I was raised in a time where any of that, if it was out in the open, you would be mocked, ridiculed, and if not, your ass beat. So I've changed. I've changed because if my ideals didn't change, I could be persecuted legally. And I do believe that all humans have rights and dignities. But what happened? There was no dignity in that for that young child. She's got to live with that. You know, I think there needs to be changes. Bottom line, there needs to be changes. You know, it's gotten to the point where, well, I don't want to say anything that I want to regret.
You don't want to get me banned on YouTube? I'm just kidding. Just giving you a hard time. Hey, thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean,
trying to hear from a wide, variety of voices today. So.
I would be open and honest with you, but I've got children.
Hey guys, we're gonna get started in a little bit. Please, Patriots, come over here. Everybody who supports the cause, get on over here. Don't pay any attention to them. Let them be over there.
A lot of my kids have canceled me for my thoughts
We're gonna get
and
started with
opinions
some
on
prayer
things,
worship.
and so I'm kind of reserved as to, completely opening
Leave them
up.
alone. Don't even pay any attention to them.
Thank you for talking with me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Stay safe, okay?
Will do.
Please, let's show some respect for our speakers, please.
All right, gang, we're doing a big speech right now. So this is the female head of the LEXIT thing here, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This is how they get your photos on the front page of newspapers and shit. It's really just like 5 people doing it.
Sorry, 9 verse 10 says, for the fear of the Lord
It's kind of goofy, honestly.
And the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding.
Like, it's not, I don't know if that's good praxis over there, ANTIFA.
We reject God.
How are you today? Mind if I come on this side? I'm sorry, that's kind of weird.
Come on in.
What are we doing here today?
We're kind of protesting perversion.
So you're here on the side against what happened at the YMCA.
Yes, sir.
Bathroom
Bathrooms for women, bathrooms for men. This is a man with his dick, balls hanging out. That's just a pervert. He's not trans. They just dress up to get in. That's what's happening.
So that's not trans. Wait, so hold on. If someone was completely trans, is with your definition, right? So then you would be okay with it? Like if they go through all the surgery?
Yes, sir. That'll be a little bit more acceptable.
Interesting. So you think a trans is on a, it's kind of like on a scale, kind of. You know what I mean? Like
Go
you theoretically
full
could
trans.
be.
Go full trans. Surgery, everything. That's what you want to be? Have a vagina. Pay, surgically remove your penis, and get a vagina installed. Then you could be sort of a woman, not completely because you were born a man. See what I'm saying?
But you'd still be okay with them going to
No,
at that point.
no, but at least do that.
Okay. What about do you ever consider maybe like a third option? Like maybe we could break everything down.
A bathroom for trans. See what I'm saying?
But then wouldn't we still technically have men and women in the same bathroom though?
Men, women, trans. Not one bathroom for everything. No.
Oh wait, hey, my signal is dying like crazy. Any chance we could just keep it right here? I'm sorry.
That's fine.
So, who are you and what are we doing here today?
My name is Mike Rizzono, and I'm just a local concerned parent. But a lot of other people already know me for other things. If they know me, they know me. I'm here because I'm not going to have my daughter in the women's locker room with a 65-year-old man that looks like Ronnie Coleman in a wig getting out of the shower.
Into the wrong direction.
That's like, to be as blunt and perfectly honest about it as possible. You could talk about surgeries that he's had, all of that. He's a scary-looking individual to people that don't know. And for that reason, he belongs in the gender-neutral facility that's providing here. There's a demand, however, by him to use the women's restroom.
So there is a gender-neutral.
Absolutely, there's gender-neutral facilities in every business across America.
So much pressure.
Most of them.
We're pushing.
And my other problem with this issue is I think it may be money-driven, and I can only assume because he sued a gym in 2018 for $5 million to get access to the women's locker room.
Love you guys.
And now we're almost 5 years later, and now he's out here at the Y trying to do it. So there's a lot of assumptions about this, but the reality is,
all of our speakers
if
here today,
transgender individual, a truly transgender individual, because I believe there's a difference. To me,
yeah.
Transgender individual is somebody who decided that they are more comfortable as the opposite that they were born. And they take the steps over a period of a long time to transition into the other sex. And I've seen these people, and I know these people, and I have friends that are transgender people that I'm talking about, true transgender people, which have made the transition. You wouldn't even be able to tell some of these people that they're men. That's what I'm talking about. Not just I'm trans, and then they want to say they're trans.
So you think there's kind of like a scale almost to trans? Theoretically,
I think there definitely is. There's a massive scale. In other words, if one of those you couldn't tell had gotten out of the locker room the other day and gotten out of the shower, the girl that was naked, the 17-year-old girl that had just gotten out of the shower, wouldn't even been scared of her because she wouldn't have been able to tell the difference.
In our hearts.
So
that's the difference.
Is bottom surgery necessary to be a trans person?
We have fallen away from the
I think the individual we're talking about, it's got to be on a basis of who we're talking about. The individual we're talking about with bottom surgery is even scarier looking getting out of the shower, if you ask me. So this is a 17-year-old girl. This is still very new to a lot of people.
He created
and the very fact that these facilities are offered for transgender people all over this country, in most places, like you said.
We need to repent.
And they choose not to use them, and they prefer to demand their way into the women's restroom. If they're going to make demands, so are we. And our demands are simple. Use the one that has both genders on the door.
Do you ever feel like an extremely butch woman might accidentally get caught in this paradigm?
How do you mean?
I don't know. Like
an extremely butch woman looks like a man in the men's locker room.
We could probably say, we've both seen men that straight up look like women, like without any change.
Oh, 100%.
And we've seen.
And I don't have a problem with those individuals.
No, totally. And I understand. And we've seen women, obviously, that we could say they look more masculine than me. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
How do you feel like? I feel like kind of setting the bar at passing theoretically almost it almost disengages another group of people, like really butch people or really feminine men,
yeah, it's tough because it's a scary issue, and when you're dealing with underage children, it's hard for a bunch of adults to sit around and say what it should be. This is about parents and how they feel. Oh, look, I have a spot. Out of respect,
like they made me a spot.
That they made me a spot, I would use it. Okay, sounds good. I would use the spot provided for me and not demand access to the women's restroom. I think that demanding access to the women's locker room only creates a fight that will create an anti-trans label, which will create a lawsuit capability for the ACLU and this individual again, which will create more money. And I think that there's a lot of that going on with the situation.
Do you think there's some element of like, let's say I want to transition to be a woman, like if I want to fully recognize my womanhood, I want to be in the woman's bathroom. I don't want to be in the trans bathroom because I'm not trans. I'm a woman.
Okay. You don't look like it.
You know, sad that
that's the touchy thing, right? Like,
no, I feel you. No, I'm
goes back to the
hypothetically,
people,
right?
Hypothetically, it goes back to the people that you and I were talking about that are very feminine, that have gone through many what I call true transgender people. Look, trans people have been around for thousands of years, and literally back in ancient Europe and kings and all that. So I understand that. But individuals who I feel like jump on the trend of it these days at times, and individuals who, I'm gonna look at you're obviously a man, and if you were like, I'm a woman, I want to free my womanhood and I want to be in the women's locker room, that's not okay with me.
So do you feel like
throwing a blonde wig on you ain't gonna do it for me either?
Do you feel like that detracts from what you would call the actual trans movement?
I feel like I don't know enough about the actual trans movement on their side to make that call.
Interesting.
In other words,
I appreciate your honesty.
I am not fighting them, so I'm not paying attention to that. I am fighting for the rights of my wife, my daughter, the girl that was in here, to not have to deal with it in the woman's locker room. It's not about anti-gay or anti-trans. So for me to say what the trans community should be doing in that regard, that's their movement, their cause, their choice. But I will say this: if they push it to the limit that they have pushed it here, it will draw out a fight that they will not win. And they're gonna spout off state law. That's fine. Schools in this area don't care about that state law. They pulled their support for this YMCA and any YMCA until policies are changed for the safety of the children. And that does not mean the children go in the transgender or in the gender neutral facility. That means that the gender neutral individual, the transgender individual, uses the facility provided for them. Now, whatever the Y is investigating into doing with their facilities, fine. If they find a way to make sure that women and children feel safe, since we're so worried about how he feels as a woman, then I'm all for it.
Last question, I'll let you go. So, we could say there's a lot of tension between the left and the right on this issue.
This is not a left-right issue. Yeah.
Sure, but
people make it that, yeah.
Because I've been talking to a handful of people, and a lot of people, I haven't found a person on the right yet here who's been like, no, trans people don't exist. I have not found a single person that said that, because everyone here acknowledges that they exist. I want the left and the right to empathize with each other,
what I would want them to recognize is that the country and the world, for that matter, have made accommodations for their movement.
Okay.
The idea that we can all get along together is based on the fact that you say no, I say but if, and you say but if, and stand to the middle, and we meet in that gray area and say, okay, let's do it. It should be honored. The far left is not honoring that. They're not honoring that at all.
I'd agree.
Facilities have been there, and what I would want them to recognize is that they have their own facilities that have been accommodated through the understanding of transgenderism in this country and in this world. They are demanding and understanding to the point of which they want naked men in front of little girls, and that's not okay with me. That's it.
Yeah, right.
Well, thanks for talking. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
That was a really good chat with the guy that yelled at me. That's so funny. My buddy just texted me, how much of this Santee issue is about the person being black? I have no idea. Do you have like a representative from LEXIT I could chat about? I was like watching some of your guys' content over there.
I'm interested in interviews with you because I know where you stand at.
Well, I mean, I'm pro-trans, but I'm pretty open about it. But I'm also, I'm just kind of curious what your guys' opinion is on the matter.
You don't know like
I want to more specifically about LEXIT.
Let me hear your opinion. I'll give you my opinion.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I want to know an opinion. I want to hear your opinion. Go
I'll be
ahead.
honest, I really was curious about like the LEXIT movement and stuff like that in particular. Like I've just been reading a lot about LEXIT and these kind of like movements of certain minority people, you know, they're leaving the Democratic Party for whatever reason, right? And I was just curious, like, why you guys want to leave the left?
I asked you the question first.
Okay, I'm sorry. What's the question?
What
I can
is
trade.
it again that you were on two sides of what?
Two sides of what?
You say you agree to both, or what is it again? Why are you making me feel insane?
I find myself fairly in the middle. I don't really agree with extreme leftism or extreme rightism. I think that...
But what we're here for is for a specific thing. Is that
Sure.
what you're asking about, or are you asking about something else?
He's undercover ANTIFA.
I'm not.
For sure he is. Yeah. You make no sense. We're undercover. I don't really care.
I'm Will from Will and his channel. I have a YouTube channel and live stream and a Twitter account.
Okay, cool.
I live in the area.
Okay, I'll look you up.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not undercover.
Gotcha.
Antifa is cringe as fuck. Extremely cringe.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I just want to say one thing since I got here.
What's up?
I'm extremely disappointed on both sides.
Okay.
I kind of came here. I'm Christian.
Okay.
I had my radical encounter at the age of 25, just 2.5 years ago with the Lord. Before that, I was an atheist.
So you're born again.
I'm born again. Yes.
Are there a lot of people here born again?
It doesn't seem like it, and that's why I'm saying. That's why I wanted to come here and apologize behalf of these so-called Christians that they're not acting Christ-like. And I don't want to get emotional, but I've seen these people come and go, cussing and being so disrespectful and rude, and it is grieving the Holy Spirit. And I'm just so upset that this is what I came out here for. Like, I do see Jesus; they were not being Christ-like, and I want to apologize on behalf of a lot of the people that were here. I'm not perfect or anything. I'm not saying that either. But when we come out here, we want to represent and we want to tell people about what we're doing, and we're actually trying to reach people, trying to have an actual debate and hopefully have like a discussion. That was not really what happened today with a lot of us, and so I just wanted to come out here. I don't know who else is on here, but I just wanted to say that because I'm sure there's a lot of people who saw these so-called Christians and getting here disrespectful, and I know there's a lot of hypocrisy. Then people say, oh, and they call themselves Christians. Let me tell you something. A lot of people call themselves Christians. They're really not Christian.
True.
They think they are.
Hey, in all religions, right?
All religions.
I mean,
everything.
Everybody, you know, it doesn't matter if you go to the sanctuary or you go to the synagogue or you go to the mosque. There are certain people that turn on when they go in and then turn off when they go off, right?
No, that's
I
true.
mean, so.
And that's been me too. Since the beginning of my walk, it was hard. I used to struggle with a lot of anger, and that's something the Lord has worked in me. And thankfully, since I got here, I was like, Lord, don't let me get angry.
I know I bugged you like 4 times already. Is there any chance I could beg you just one last time? I would love to just talk with you since you're the chapter leader. I would love to talk with you about your chapter leader.
I'm the chapter vice president.
I'm sorry. I thought someone said you were the chapter leader.
Who are you though? Be honest with me.
My name is Will from Will and his channel. I would say I'm an alternative journalist. I run a YouTube channel and a live stream.
Type it in.
Are you Antifa?
I'm absolutely not Antifa. Antifa is cringe as fuck.
Where do you live?
I live here in San Diego.
What part of San Diego?
I can't say that because live it would dox me. You know what I'm saying?
Who?
I just can't say it on live stream because they would dox me. They'd find out where I live. You know?
How do we know you're not trying to dox us?
I don't. Me personally,
How do we know you're not trying to dox us? Well, how can you prove it to us that you're not trying to dox us?
How? I mean, don't you think I could theoretically dox you without getting a recording of you? Like, why would I waste my time trying to get this recording and try to figure out what you're about if I was just going to dox you? I'd probably like.
Because people do that, and we've experienced it.
But I mean, people can find out like where you guys. You don't have to tell me where you're located, but people can look up your website and figure out what you know.
Yeah, so you can just go there.
That's exactly what I said.
I want to, you know, it's one thing to hear from a website or read off a website. It's another to hear from the people that are on the ground really supporting the movement, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but no, I can't give you the interview. I think you said.
What? You gave Fox and CBS the interview. You can't give an independent journalist an interview? I promise, I'm here in good faith. I legitimately, I just want to know more about the LEXIT movement. Feel free to look at my videos. It's not super leftist content or anything. It's more like conspiracy theory, philosophy, and art. I'm really interested in having empathy for different groups of people. And I'm really interested in the idea of why is it that certain, you know, why is it that Latinos feel the need to leave the left? You know, like what is it about the LEXIT movement that, you know, is driving you guys towards it? I think it's interesting. just like LEXIT, right? There was a whole group for African American people, right, where they wanted to leave the Democratic Party, and I assume you guys are kind of the Latino version of that.
Yes, we are.
Like, where did LEXIT come from? It was did it start? I watched like 6 hours or so of interviews with like the main guy. I'm kind of blanking on his name.
Jesse,
the ex-gang member guy.
Yeah, Jesse.
Yeah. Did this start from like a religious basis at all? Like from a, you know what I mean? Like was this kind of like, was there like a religious?
Yeah, if you go see his testimony, you'll see that it's a very powerful testimony, and we believe God is using them in the right way now. You see, like he said, he was once a gang member, and his life turned around on a night where he was out doing gang activities, and that's when God changed his life.
Is religion something that you feel is fueling the LEXIT movement, or is it more just in general? Like maybe it started with a religious movement, but now it's kind of like we're just incorporating all Latinos that want to get involved, you know?
Yeah, no, LEXIT puts God first before anything.
So God is really important for the movement.
Very important. You have to be a Christian, not just a Christian, but a believer in God. We got Catholics, we got Christians, we got non-denomination members. They don't attend the church.
Can it be like Jewish or Islam?
They have their own personal relationship with God. That's what LEXIT is about. Yeah, we put God first. We are pro-life. Of course, we don't believe in abortion. We stand up against it. We are Second Amendment. We are freedom of speech. Freedom of speech believers.
God bless.
And just straight up U.S. Constitution believers.
No, I'm sorry.
That's what we're about.
What is your least favorite thing about the left that drives you to be in this LEXIT movement?
I would say that the worst thing about them is the lies that they've always said, especially to the Latino community for years, ever since our childhood as kids. We are raised and taught that as Latinos we automatically have to vote Democrat, and that the Democratic Party is for the Latinos. And now that I'm older and I've gotten more involved, I realize how much all that has just been lies, because what they do is they like to portray all the other people, like the Latinos, the African Americans. They want us to have that victim mentality that we can't come up. And
can I say who's they?
The left.
Okay.
The left, and mostly the Democrats, to be honest. And don't get me wrong, we're not Democrat, we're not Republican. What we ask for people is to vote with their godly values. If it happens to be a Democrat, and there's good Democrats out there, don't get me wrong. As long as they believe in our values, we'll vote for them, and we'll back them up. Same thing with Republicans. There's rhinos, there's Republicans that don't.
Right, Republican in name only,
exactly.
For people that don't know.
Exactly, they promise that they're going to fight for us, and they don't. So that's mainly what we're about.
So is LEXIT pro-trans, pro-gay? No?
No.
Because
no,
it's against your religion.
Yeah, no. But we know that the LGBTQ community, the gays, the lesbians, we know that they're here with us in the world, in our communities, and we don't bash them. We don't confront them or anything. They have the right to live their lives however they want. It's America. They're free to live however they want. The only thing we do have a problem with is how they're trying to now indoctrinate children, especially at schools and places like here at the YMCA. How they're trying to pretty much sexualize the children and change their identities. And I know there's hospitals out there that they're refusing to put the baby's gender on the birth certificate because they say that the child hasn't chosen what he is yet, or her.
Which we can both agree is ridiculous, right?
It's very ridiculous.
It's
very ridiculous.
I mean, I think that's where I get kind of lost on some of this left-wing ideology, like a sex assigned at birth. That is some cringe shit. That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
But what I wonder is, do you feel like there is some kind of like a middle path, that maybe we can branch between, let's dare I say, more conservative individuals such as yourself, right? Which is okay. It's okay. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I'm from West Virginia, so like my whole family is very, very conservative. And then more, liberal left people like we saw over there today, right? Is there a middle ground that we could come to that you think would be acceptable?
No, that's the thing with us here at LEXIT, that we don't compromise anything. We don't compromise. We stick to our values and our beliefs, and it's going to be like that all the way. If we're in this fight, we're going to do it all the way, and we're going to keep coming out and standing up for the kids, for the women's rights, and no, we won't compromise.
How many LEXIT members are in San Diego?
There's a few of us. There's a lot of us.
I
gotta go already, bro.
That's fine. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Honestly, thank you for taking the time. Yeah.